Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Getting a bit of a late start tonight, but I wanted to do the main story here. Get that on stream before I run into too many spoilers. Unfortunately, I'm still having connection issues. Hopefully people watching the VOD here on YouTube won't really notice. But it seems to have cleared up, so I'm going to try and keep going until it craps out. Seeking the light. Marshawn's glad for your arrival. Ah, Coda, I was about to call for you. There have been developments concerning the Void Gate that I would discuss with everyone. Coincidentally, I'm told Ishtola will be returning shortly. I dared hope she's made some progress in devising a way to harness the First's light. Come, let us await others in my chambers. Okay, I'm going to be editing this a good bit. Alright, what do you got, Vitra? What's going on? Looks like a chest of some description. My apologies for the delay. Think nothing of it. I pray thou art come with glad tidings. With findings well worth many sleepless nights, I am pleased to report. Oh, that's good. You may leave it here, thank you. Eager though I am to hear the details, I must first share tidings of my own grave ones. J hath sent word of the Void Gate in Mare Lamentorium. The situation is precarious. Looks like we're running out of time. They continue to rely upon the brands to contain the forces which would otherwise flow freely into the source. Yet, though these measures were sufficient to imprison a fragment of Zodiac for eons, against our enemy's determined onslaught, they are degrading at an unsettling rate. The Laportes are sparing no effort to sustain the brands, but 'tis only a matter of time ere they fail. Unless we act soon, there will be no stopping Golbez from realizing his evil ambition. That Zeromus. That Zeromus should so test the seal even when not at full strength, 'tis every bit as terrible as we feared. Yeah, it was made with remnants of Zodiac, so of course it's not going to be any minor threat. Aye, we must needs vanquish it, to which end we require a means to pierce its dark shroud. So did you find it? A way to bring resplendent light to bear against our foe. As a matter of fact, I have. Theory was simple. We harness light from the first, channel it into the 13th. Such a feat would require us to manipulate vast amounts of energy, to say the least. Allegan tools? And so I consulted Sid and his fellows who rose the challenge and bespoke of devices, ether transmitters. These marvelous contraptions can be placed at locations of our choosing to facilitate the flow of ether. In other words, we can use them to create ethereal currents. Ah, that such a thing should be possible. We shall first direct ether from Nabatharang, where the flow of light was halted, into the Crystal Tower. We all know from personal experience the wonders of which it is capable of. Wonders which suits our needs perfectly. Now, the Crystal Tower is an extremely powerful device. I should mention, the structure in the Azim Step which the Allagans built to redirect ether was another source of inspiration. So we're going to use those two as conduits between the worlds. Ooh. Once we've infused the crystal tower with enough ether, we shall send it through into the rift between worlds. And the ether transmitter shall guide the energy unto the 13th. Like so. In this way, we shall have the lance of light with which to pierce the shield of darkness. Or, so I hope, no tests were performed so close to the scale of what we ultimately seek to achieve. I cannot guarantee its success. Well, we wouldn't get this far if we hadn't... Yeah, exactly. With such great minds, how could possibly... You know, this would hardly be the first time we've had to play it by ear. Yeah. That feels like the most appropriate thing to say here. True enough, but that's not a point of pride for me personally. Science and theory aside, we need to place one or more of these transmitters on the first, I take it. Estinian was never in the first, so... A task we shall entrust to you, Coda. Rest assured I'll provide you with what support I can. I wish to go as well. That'd be possible, even. This world which you brought back from the brink, I would see it with my own eyes. But how dost thou intend to make the journey? True, even a dragon as powerful as Vitra struggles to travel in the rift between worlds. He can travel through the vacuum of space just fine, but in a spirit vessel, that's how you and yours managed it, correct? Void Sense Summoning also sees the soul separated from the flesh. This separation I can actually do at will. The principles are similar enough. If you aren't averse to traveling with company, I should be glad to lend Zero my vessel. As we learn in the Hildebrand quest, those vessels can in fact be reused, so... As long as they're not currently occupied, so... I see no reason not to. I guess the fact that she's a Void Sent is going to come in handy here. Then it's settled. I shall finish preparing the transmitters, and then I'll help Zero transfer her soul. Pray see to your own preparations, and let us reconvene at the Megaduda. Sounds good to me. Do 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 do. That's not a huge deal that I keep up the chat block. I just want to be safe. If something important goes up or something funny someone says, I can just say it out loud. For a moment, I misunderstood that Yashol was proposing to Zero borrow her body, which would have been very odd. I mean, we did learn back in Stormblood that is actually possible. Well, doing so, of course, you have to be careful, because the one possessing you, if stronger, will take over the body. Yeah. Of course, it can also can safely house something in your body if you are stronger than it. So do have keep that in mind if you wish to do something similar. Hmm. Oh, if you do, be sure to invite me. I definitely would be interested in seeing just how that would go. Still will be along after she sees the Zero Soul. Let us wait here. Do 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 do. Oops. Right, gotta turn off the block for this cutscene. Apologies for the wait. Everything went smoothly. Zero Soul is now safely within the spirit vessel. I shall have the alchemist attend her body until she returns. Sounds good. Our team lasted way longer in comparison, so... The vessel I place in your care, along with the transmitters and a set of garments for Zero. I've also included instructions on how to operate the Crystal Tower, courtesy of Grahatia. He was indeed the master of it for quite some time. No one knows the inner workings of it better than he does. While you're away, I'll join Eurodon J and the Laporte on the moon. They should need help. They'll need help should the brands fail. A fine idea. For my part, I shall continue to coordinate our efforts while I recover from my wounds. Given the task at hand, I suggest you speak with Reen. With her power over light, she is bound to be helpful in our efforts. But ere you do that or aught else, seek out Beklug. As the foremost authority on soulcraft, they should be able to grant Zero a corporeal form. As I recall, the old Numao was rather fond of the Cabinet Curiosity, so that should be our first stop. That's all from me. Go forth, Warrior of Darkness, and make your triumphant return to the First. Hey, I've gone there on vacations here and then. But don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to the summer vacation Dawn Trail offers. And it's totally going to go well and nothing will go wrong. A little expensive now that it's no longer a favored destination, but I don't really need to go here too often. For better or for worse, I'm mostly done with the Shadowbringer areas. Right, I can use the Ethernet here. Cabinet of Curiosity. Here we are. Here we go. Yeah, I remember he was here from the Hildebrand quest. Our work on a tome chronicling the events from the time of the flood proceeds slowly but surely. It's perhaps the most ambitious project I've ever dared to take, but I consider it my mission to preserve our collective experiences for posterity. So you, Kota, what brings you back across the rift? I have a buddy I need to give a physical body here. They're a former Void Sent, I guess you could say. Well, technically still Void. Honestly, first you ask me to extract a soul from a spirit vessel, and then you have Danes to channel light to another reflection? Good white, Kota, is nothing ever simple with you. I suppose some people can't help but find themselves at the center of world-changing events. Very well, if your home is in peril, then I shall do all in my power to aid you. It's the least we can do, after all. While I tend to your companion, you should go and speak with Reen. By all accounts, she practically lives the Hotorium these days. I'll look for you once I've finished. Ow. Well, the nice thing about this game is you can't die from fall damage unless you're in combat. Okay, that's not the right place to go. I was gonna say something about... Oh yeah, this is where the crafters and stuff go. I'm not sure I got a chance to discuss this while I was doing the Shadowbringer. I believe the first thing I started streaming for this game was the Shadowbringers patch storyline, so I unfortunately did not get a chance to do the main story, but I do really like how these cities and stuff all have a much more triumphant sounding night theme, as opposed to the source, the main area, where they have a much more triumphant day theme and a more softer night theme. It really just shows how different everything has been for the people of the first. Um, Ow. Yeah, like I said, no fall damage. Oh, I probably could have just walked in here over from the Cabinet of Curiosity to the Whispering Gallery. Whoops. Oh well. Leave it to me to add an unnecessary extra step to everything.
Restoring the elements to the empty may allow life to flourish there once more. But that isn't enough to return the environment to the way it was. No, we need to gradually reintroduce life, beginning with plants. Not just any plants, though, but those that won't be a burden on a weakened land.
There are ones that can thrive in difficult places to grow. There are ones that restore nutrients to the soil.
Such as...
I see you've taken a bit of an interest in gardening.
Oh, what a welcome surprise! It seems you caught me rambling to myself. How embarrassing. I've been studying botany, you see. Hoping that the knowledge would help our work in the empty.
Guess she's been keeping busy just like we have in the post-story events.
But never mind that for now. What brings you to the Crystarium? It was my understanding that the final days were behind us.
Well, actually, there's a bit of a threat left. A remnant of Zodiark was converted into a powerful monster of darkness called Zeromus, and we need to use the power of light to dispel its evil aura. Otherwise, I can't even approach it.
You wish to combat this otherworldly threat with the power of light? Please, let me help.
It would be
Though I've
ideal if we
lost
could.
my connection to Hydaelyn, I can still manipulate light to a degree.
Right, she was the Oracle of Light. So she should still have some
If there
power
is a
over light
chance I
itself.
could save others with that power, then I have to try.
"'Tis done. Zero is now with us in the flesh.
A bit of an unconventional
The
void sense
spirit
summoning, but it
vessel
works.
I shall hold on to for operating the tower. This will help me to make sense of the controls, will it?
It was made by Graha.
There's a levity in his words that wasn't there before. It heartens me to know he is well. I shall see to the preparations as per his instructions.
Well, I guess they'd still call him the Crystal Exarch here, even though he's stepped down from that position, officially.
My thanks for your help.
Think nothing of it. That said, 'tis customary that my kind receive fitting payment for services rendered.
Not unlike we void sent, then. In that case, you may devour some of my ether.
Are you mad? I'll do no such thing. The very suggestion is absurd.
Right. In this game, Numao, like Beklug here, are technically classified as Fey creatures. A shame they aren't playable like they have been in some Final Fantasy games, but then again, aside from the Ronso, they've been trying to...
Now, let's calm down. We all have our preferences, and I'm sure no offense was intended.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Void Sent are probably the closest thing to demons in this universe. So, and they would absolutely have different preferences than Fey creatures when it comes to payment.
I shall attend to the tower now. The rest I leave to you.
And it's easy to forget, but Zero is still technically Void Sent despite retaining
Zero,
a
was
degree of
it?
her previous human
My
form.
name is Reen. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Though granted, we did restore her to this form after she was in a different one, so...
This world isn't what I expected. While light is indeed strong here, it's not pervasive or overwhelming. Everything looks much as it does in the source.
Yeah, you can blame me for
We have
that.
the Warrior of Darkness to thank for that. If you're interested, I would be glad to show you around.
Well, I guess calling her a direct demon might be a bit, I guess demonkin might be a bit better way to describe her, since she's yeah, I think that'd be a better way to get across what she is without having to go into the nitty-gritty details. The Crystal Tower. Beautiful as ever.
Just an ordinary sky. Ordinary and beautiful.
It wasn't returned to that way easily, that's for sure, but...
To think that after so much loss, they could reclaim this.
Reclaim the night sky, the sunless sea. Growing light, the very patch name. Makes sense a lot of people will be doing this story right now. You restore peace to the world, and I want to ensure that peace is preserved. That's why I'm learning everything I can. I've heard of something of your deeds here, of how the Warrior of Darkness, despite light ravaging his very being, had I the self-same strength of spirit, perhaps I could have done more for my world. No, it isn't over yet. The 13th is not beyond saving. That's why we're here. So where to? Just lead the way. Your dragon fruit blend. Mashed dragon fruit blended together with the cloud banana and coconut milk to make a creamy, refreshing drink. Honeyed dragon fruit, a generous serving of dragon fruit slathered with sweet layer of golden honey and a few sour drops of lemonette juice. Marinated Brocco flour, a biting dish of Brocco flour, paprika, and onion steeped in oil and dark vinegar. Why do they always make this stuff sound so delicious? No. Here. Luckily, there's a hotkey to just hide anything that's not an NPC or whatever, so you can click on them like this. I believe it's been in there since the start, but it might have been at some point. I forget. It's been so long. It's just been in the game so long, I forget if there was ever a time it wasn't in there. See, they use ether here as well. Not all be able to, having not attuned any. I trust you're willing to walk with me. Appealing to the masses. She's eager to set your plan in motion. Sounds good to me. Let's head to Nabatharang. Since Zero can't teleport to the Aetheryte, we should travel by Amaro. That's basically what they use instead of chocobos here. Ah, there you are. Thank goodness I'm not too late. Lena, I take it Beklug told you what you're here? More or less. Greetings and welcome. I'm Lena, Captain of the Guard here at the Crystarium. Zero, is there something you require? When I learned of your plan to gather light at the Crystal Tower, I felt compelled to warn you of potential repercussions. I know well that you would never use the tower for ill, nor without due caution, but even so... Oh, I believe I understand. Ever since the Flood, light has been a source of pain and misery. Some fear it still, no doubt. Which is to say that some would be uncomfortable at the sight of it wielded as we intend. That's your concern, is it not? Precisely. It was light that nearly consumed our world. To us, the Crystal Tower... To use the Crystal Tower to harness such a destructive force risks turning the tower into an object of fear. You may convince the Crystarium of the necessity of your cause, but it will not be easy to win over those outside of our walls. I worry this will undermine the fragile trust we've only just begun to build with some communities. They may misunderstand your intentions. Tell me who they are and what misunderstandings they may have. I shall allay their concerns. That's true, we have someone whose world is being destroyed by has already been destroyed by darkness, rather. Coach and I will go to her. People know us, our presence will put them at ease. Thank you, I realize this will delay the execution of your plans, but I see no other way. As for where to begin, I dare say Yulmore would be as good a place as any. Though ours is an amicable relationship now, we were at odds for many long years. Yeah, Vothri and the Crystal Exarch were not exactly on the best terms, even though they were officially never at war. Gilmore was once ruled by a tyrant who wielded the power of light. Though he promised salvation, in truth he made slaves of his subjects and sought to destroy any who defied him. He's gone now, thankfully, and a man named Chine was elected as mayor. Relations between our cities have improved much since then. Even so, there's a lingering rivalry. If the Crystarium were to harness light without warning, some Eulmorans may suspect we have ulterior motives. Thus it would be prudent to give them prior notice. If you explain that you seek to save the War of Darkness's home, though, I should hope they would give you their blessing. Once again, yours is a name that commands respect and trust in the domain of your former enemies, as it does in Garlemald. Well, it wasn't easy to get that way, let's just say that. Where else should we visit? After Yulmore, I would suggest Ratuka Greatwood. Still, you'll find the Knights Blessed, a small collective which worships the darkness, as well as the V's, are guardians of the secrets of the ancient Ronka. V's are insular and likely not object unless light encroaches upon their territory. The Knights Blessed, on the other hand, would greatly benefit from your assurances that your actions will not adversely affect their lives. Yeah, they're basically a religion that worships darkness, so they'll worship darkness, fitting for a world all but consumed by the light. I imagine for Zero, this is going to be quite a culture clash, even if quite a bit of it will make sense to her. Very well, we will treat with the people of Yulmore and the Knights Blessed. Here, take these whisper weeds. I'll let you know when all is ready with the tower. Right, and they use whisper weeds instead of link pearls in the first, although they functionally serve the same purpose. Right, I should tend to my own tasks. Explain the situation to the people of the Crystarium, arranging for transmitters to be placed here in Nabatharang. We're truly grateful. Thank you, Lena. Come, let us head to Gilmore. Hopefully Chinese will know best how to present our plan to everyone. It's nice, now that my name is recognized, it's good that I can use it to throw a little weight around when necessary. Otherwise, it might have required a lot more careful negotiation. And let's just say our character has been established that they are not very good at charisma rolls for diplomacy. We are very much at our best when we can smack a problem around until it ceases to become a problem. Gilmore, here we are. Brandon. Greetings, Warrior of Darkness. If you've come out of concern for our esteemed mayor, fear not. He runs the city well, as ever prefers to work closely with the people to better hear their voice. Oh, Tarina, what a wonderful surprise this is, and you've even brought a new friend. I recall looking it up at one point. Apparently, Dulia Chai here is actually a reskinned Lalafell. Just, sized up to look like Makode. That's kind of neat how they make some shortcuts. They make good use of what they have. Well, less shortcuts and more making use of what they have. But, because a number of characters like, I think Guy, if you remember her from those streams, she was actually a 100% new model. Even her outfit was part of the model mesh, so... but by making Dooley here a modified Lalafell, they were able to get a lot done with a lot less time, and that's pretty neat. It's clever, I think. Even brought a new friend. Look, Dooley and Rendon are here too. Between three of them, we should be able to get some good advice. This is the great and powerful leader of Yulmore. He must be possessed of subtle qualities that make him uniquely suited to the position. It's a number of things that led him to that position, but he is the best suited for it. Good gods, if it isn't Coda, would we owe the pleasure? Not another world-ending threat. Surely not. The sensitive matter, which we thought best to consult the city's esteemed mayor. I doubt I ever described myself as such, but anyway, I can tell you're up to something, the kind of something I might want nothing to do with, but regardless, I probably should know. What is it exactly? Gathering light at the Crystal Tower, you say? I'd be lying if I said that doesn't bring back unpleasant memories, and I believe I speak for most Yulmorans. Yeah, it's... Like, you might have even noticed before they said stuff like Wicked White, so yeah, light is absolutely tied into how, most seeing it as an evil one because, well, it almost destroyed their world and all. Hard to blame them, really. Likewise, they do favor the sacred darkness, even if they do understand that either one could be used for good or ill. We can hardly blame you. We have no reason to question your motives, of course, neither yours nor those of the Sturm's leadership. A world engulfed in darkness, its corrupted inhabitants attempting to invade your own. That's rather a lot to process, but the desire to save one's home is something anyone can understand. I'm touched that you show such concern for our feelings despite the gravity of your plight. Very well, you will have my support. As if there's any doubt. Right, let's gather the people at once. An explanation from you ought to ensure everyone understands. Not so fast, dearest. If I were to reveal everything at this juncture, many would be deeply unsettled, regardless of any assurances I offer. No, at first we need to set the stage, set word of the Warrior of Darkness's plight, that he's on a mission to save his world as he once did ours. Once the tale is common knowledge, I can call an assembly to explain the need to harness the power of light to a populace far more amenable to the idea. That's actually a really good idea. To that end, might I trouble you speak with our citizens about your predicament? It would be more effective to hear the details from the hero himself, more likely to inspire solidarity for your cause. That's actually a good idea. Spread rumor, for lack of a better term, spread rumor about the Warrior of Darkness seeking to save his own world like he did ours. but avoiding the specifics first so that people know, okay, are on the clear of, okay, yeah, he's trying to save his world, and then boom, drop the power that, I know, we'll borrow some of your light to do it. Because just now, just gathering the power of light, people could be all, you mean the same light that almost, killed us all? Interesting. I think our tabletop actually had kind of a similar situation. Not quite, but we're at the point where spreading rumors to try and fix some relations that were frayed, we shall say. Whether or not it'll work, I genuinely have no idea. So we appeal to the desire to aid, to present light in a more positive, light. Well played, Master Chai. Yeah, context is absolutely everything, and introducing a seemingly dangerous idea in a context like this will definitely make it easier to swallow. But that's best. It's best that you do the talking. We'll come with you. Fine by me. I'm content to observe. Alright, I guess we're gonna be rolling diplomacy, bluff, whatever we can do to get this threatening, whatever. To finish your rounds, ask your report to me. I should like you to know how the people react. Lead the way, Koda. We'll be right behind you. Ah, another escort. And when it's loading like that, that usually means they'll go back to the main one, so I guess we'll do that. So Zero can travel here free like you. Would that Alphino could do the same. I miss him dearly. I'm acutely aware of my limitations and know that I'm not the most persuasive speaker, thank you. She'll do her utmost to make the people more receptive before I address them. Yeah, the Crystal Exarch definitely had a much better way with words. In fact, that's kind of one of the ways he was able to help out during the main storyline in Endwalker. It's an ability he wants to move past since, well, he doesn't want to be Crystal Exarch anymore. That's kind of why one of the reasons he stepped down, but... Well, when you have a good skill, it'd be a waste not to use it, you know? The people of Yulmore have tremendous faith in both you and Master Chai. They would not still be here otherwise. I myself included. Oh yeah, and by the way, I did upgrade all my gear to the max here. Or at least the max I can. I haven't gotten the new Manderville weapon because I'm saving to do that on stream. If my connection's on the fritz again, I might just do another separate recording, though, because I only have one Hildebrand quest to do this time. Catch up, and that'll just be a matter of, well, spend another set, if I had to guess. But I guess I'll find out shortly myself. If it's just another 1,500 rocks, 1,500 tomestones, then it's whatever. Yeah. But yeah, my armor is completely up to date. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm completely ready for Dawn Trail. As you can see, the accessories are still behind a bit, but, well, the left side of your screen is significantly more important than the right side. We'll just keep it simple and put it that way. That way I don't have to go into the details there. While Lean and Master Chai couldn't be more different, they're both mindful of how their actions affect others. They're both good leaders. There's much I hope to learn from them. From that conversation alone, I could see how much the people here trust you. Thanks to Yulis and Thancred, I've grown better at recognizing it. Why, you've met Thancred too? Right, of course you have. I don't know why I said that. Right. Let's find some citizens to speak with. I suggest we start here in the canopy before heading down to the understory in Derelicts. They're now accompanying you. Leave your companions behind. Speaking. We are now in the escort mission. Let's look. A tower growing more decadent as it rises, set upon the isolated sliver of land, reminiscent of a void-sent domain, built by those who yearn for better times, who ached for the shadow, but the shadow of a memory. Yet I saw no such desperation in the Crystarium. Despite their shared tragedy, the two cities couldn't feel more different. Yeah, as you can probably guess from those names, there's absolutely a difference between the rich side of the city and the poor side. Enforced by Vothri, I might add. Though the Crystarium is my home now, I still visit Yulmore on occasion, together with Gaia. And each time I'm here, I feel the city's changed, the mood brighter and the people happier. We can't allow that hard-won progress to be undone. Let's do our best to reassure everyone. That's the airship area. We don't need that. Luckily, it's pretty quick to go from the Crystarium to here by airship. discuss the Beehive. A tavern, an extravagant one at that, but those dancers engage in the poles, with the poles in such strange ways. They rest assured there's both male and female dancers here, so you should be able to find whatever you like. Or at least that's their hope. Then again, I guess it's not like they can't and just hire more dancers if they feel they need more. Are they pantomiming a battle? A soldier thrusts the spear at the ground while launch themselves at the enemy? Or, given this world's violent history, it makes sense that displays of martial powers should be popular entertainment. So the 13th does not have this kind of entertainment at all. Because this is absolutely a decadent form of entertainment, just, more on the sex appeal value. I believe there's also a big restaurant in the area here at some point. So yeah, to give you an idea of just how decadent Yulmore as a whole is, for those who haven't played the story. Thancred once told me people came to these places to savor some memories and drown the others. I imagine the Beehive was built primarily to help the Yulmorans forget about the Sin Eaters, even if just for a time. But now they can simply enjoy themselves. I can see the appeal, but don't worry, I know I'm a bit too young for it. Also depends if you're the type to enjoy this kind of entertainment in general. For some people, it's just not gonna... The food and drink will be more appealing than the entertainment, but for others, it's vice versa. I used to live for the moment, not caring about what happened tomorrow, but now that we have peace, I find myself thinking about the future and feeling anxious. What? Your home is being threatened with destruction. Ah, wicked white, why are you wasting time in a drinking hole? But as I say it, I feel a sting of hypocrisy. Gods, I need to take control of my life. I need to face my troubles head on. And the same goes for you. No one ever found answers at the bottom of the cup. None worth a damn, at least. We both know exactly what we need to do, don't we? Well, if I was able to encourage him to start working on his own life as well, his words to encourage me to work on mine, it sounds like a mutual benefit. Or at least that's my hope. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but... well, I guess it's better than doing nothing. Sometimes it's better to regret taking action than regret not taking action, but... well, context is everything, like I said. Can I just jump down here? Oop. Ow. Well, that was an easy way to do it, I think. Oh, well now, the Warrior of Darkness and the Oracle of Light both. How may I be of service? Oh, your enemies plot to invade your world. Having heard tales of sin eaters ravaging countless villages, your plight feels all too familiar. Come what may, I urge you to remain strong. You overcame the Light Wardens. You can overcome any adversity. And for what it's worth, I'm sure everyone here will be willing to help out in whatever way we can. Have courage, my friend. You've saved our world once before, and I have faith you'll save your own. That said, if I or my brethren can be of assistance, do not hesitate to ask. Plan Nutsy. I believe that's a reference to Final Fantasy Tactics A1. I know the debate of Final Fantasy Tactics versus Tactics Advance will always exist, but honestly, I don't think they step on each other's toes as much as people like to insist they do. One is very clearly a large-scale political story about its continent, while the other is a smaller scale, despite taking place on a continent, personal story about the characters themselves. I mean, let me put it this way. People argue to this day whether Marsh, the protagonist of Tactics Advance 1, was the hero or the villain of the story, and the fact that such an argument can exist in earnest means that it has some level of nuance in the hero and villain story. Meanwhile, you'll find very few who will argue that for this game. As much as I love it, it's pretty straightforward, good and evil, even if it does... although I do appreciate that it takes time to acknowledge that the villains are this way for a reason. I guess there is a good mix of unambiguously evil villains, like the one in the Shadowbringers weapons storyline, as well as Athena in this one. Derelicts. When Vothi tried to keep us out of the city, many free citizens died in the chaos. Some had no kin to inherit their wealth, so Yulmore decided to use it to help fund the reconstruction of the derelicts. It's part of the greater effort to improve the living conditions down here, which is important since there's simply not enough room for everyone in the city proper. Oh, that's really nice to hear, actually. I think cleaning up the debris. For a moment I thought to be a void scent. In case you didn't know, it's not uncommon for our kind to use statues as vessels. I can see now it's more akin to the mechanical soldiers used by Garleans. They come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? Oh, you're the Warrior of Darkness. I never dreamed I'd have the honor. But why are you here in Yulmore, might I ask? Your home is in danger and you've come seeking help. If there's anything we can do, you need only ask. Things could be better here, of course. We've got a long road ahead of us. But we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and yours, and we'll never forget that. I once feared the Sin Eaters and light with every fiber of my being, but no longer. There's too much that wants for doing. We can't afford to be ruled by fear. You taught me that. I'm really... When they first introduced the, escort quests, you actually weren't able to use a, teleportation to travel with them. So that was kind of annoying, but then they changed a patch for that, which is nice. It's a shame they don't mount with you. That's definitely something I'll give that Warcraft has for its escort quests, unlike this one. Although I will say it is nice that these also don't have HP or anything, so they can't be defeated or something. I'll openly admit my bias for this game, but I do intend to give credit to others where it's due. And I guess even while they do technically give the motivation stuff for the main villains of the story. For a stroll. Oh. Spoken with the people, have you? Well, they're not without their worries. I'd like to think that on the whole, they're not as prone to melancholy as they once were. The people know and respect you, Coda. I've no doubt everyone will rally around you in your time of need. I'll admit that part of me was kind of worried that the first may simply straight up not have any relevance period after the Shadowbringer storyline ended, but I'm glad they haven't completely forgotten about it. I imagine its prominence will be significantly less after from Dawn Trail onwards, but well, nothing stops them from adding a new dungeon or something here and there. So the people have one mind in their desire to help. Good, good. Why, just earlier, I overheard a conversation of the Warrior of Darkness seeking to save their home. Your tale is spreading quite quickly. And the plan has unfolded precisely as you envisioned. All that remains then is to assemble the citizens and explain Coda's need to gather the light. For better or for worse, I'm the mayor of the city. I'll do my best to win them over. Wait, aren't you? The Oracle of Light. You heard the young lady who saved me from Valthree. I didn't through enough meal to fall under his control, but you cured me. I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you. Oh, I remember you too. I'm glad to see you're doing well. I've only learned later there was the Oracle of Light who saved me. You saved all of us. Didn't know if I'd ever get a chance to express my gratitude. I'm sure it wasn't nothing for some of your power, but thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. What is this meal? Uh, basically, food made from light-tainted flesh of sin eaters, you say. See, the more they ate, the more the light's corruption spread. Right. Because of them, they become more susceptible to Vothri's commands, as he could command sin eaters to do his bidding. Thankfully, I was able to suppress the light's influence and free everyone from his control, and there seems to be no lingering effects either. You say that as though it was some small feat. I've seen countless souls corrupted by darkness. Someone with the power to heal them would be regarded as a great figure, and never know peace. My gift has been a burden. Many have suffered for it, died for it, and there are times I wish I didn't even have it, when I wanted to run away from everyone and everything. But I had friends to encourage and guide me, to help me learn not just to embrace my gift, but to take charge of my life, to change my fate. So you did just that. The people of this world are resilient indeed. When I tended to the people of after Vothri fled, I wasn't sure how much of a difference it would make. It's relief to see that men I treated are alive and well. Brief though it was wonderful to see you. Do visit again soon. Hopefully when the fate of the world isn't weighing on your mind. We appreciate the Crystarium's concern for the welfare of our people. May we continue to strengthen the ties between our two cities. My thanks again for your consideration, Coda. The rest you may leave to us. That a half-void saint like me managed to escape the flood of darkness. For all these years, I never stopped to wonder why. To wonder if I had a greater part to play. Well, perhaps it's time I took charge and considered what I might be able to do for others. The answer is here in the first, and I will find it. Do, 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 do. Zero's cool expression cannot hide the fire in her eyes. We have no further business here. Let us move on. Where to next? Slitherbow, home of the Knights Blessed in the Rataka Greatwood, will explain the situation with their leader, Runar. Do 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 do. I really love the dance remix someone did of the Rataka Greatwood theme. Little wonder those who revere darkness would gather here. Yet dark as the wood may seem, it's yet a blazing torch next to the void itself. I've not visited here in some time, but it's much as I remember, which is good, don't get me wrong. Goda, you're a sight for sore eyes, my friend. Will you be staying long in Slitherbow? Though having said that, I suspect this isn't just a social call. I'm afraid so. To speak to you as leader of the Knights Blessed, it's important. He'd probably appreciate me being blunt. For all, he appreciated Y'shtola's bluntness. Ah, so it is more of a formal visit. That's fine. Why don't we get right to it, then? Your world, Master Batoria's world's in grave danger. Master Matoya? Y'shtola. She took another name in accordance with the custom when she lived at the Knights Blessed. They believe light taints everything it touches, and even their true names. Out of respect, please do not speak hers here. That's right. Everyone here has a specific alias, usually either their parent or their master, hence Y'shtola taking her mentors. You're Zero, yes? The one come from a world consumed by darkness. I struggle to conceive of such a place. A pitch-black pall shrouds the sky, which neither the light of the sun nor the stars can pierce. It is the opposite of what you once knew here in Novaron. That being the case, I'm sure you could relate to our situation. All too well, you have my deepest sympathies. In order to beat back the darkness of your world, you wish to harness the light from ours. It is a simple yet brilliant idea. Only Master Batoria could have conceived of such. That Norvaront is still in our thoughts, that we are still. So you're not opposed to our plan? We Knights Blessed may place our faith in the dark, but we've never sought to force our beliefs upon others. If your deliverance lies in the light, by all means avail yourselves of it. We're a very modern faith. I'm surprised when I was told of your people, I was certain you'd disapprove of the method. Oh, do not mistake our reverence for darkness as a desire for it to be ascendant. Rather, in darkness, there is a peace we seek to make our own through prayer and self-reflection. And while light may have wrought suffering in our world, anything in excess is harmful, even darkness, as you and yours know all too well. It is the wielder who is righteous or evil, not the weapon. If you wield the light for a noble cause, who are we to deny you? An easy thing for me to say now that night has been restored to the world, perhaps, but nevertheless. I wish you the best in your fight, Zero. May light shine your way in the darkness. Given his faith, I imagine he's being very respectful by putting it that way. Now then, to mark this joyous occasion, I must offer you a proper welcome to Slitherbow. You might find this interesting, Zero. If you say so. Right, let's begin with a customary greeting. Code, I just remember how to announce yourself as a friend of the Blessed? I hope so. I might not after all this time. In chat mode, they just say, offer a traditional greeting. And say, this is a watchword, I take it. Our first visit here was nerve-wracking but exciting. I'll never forget how the villagers warmed to me when I spoke the words. Don't tell me you've forgotten the words. What would Master Matoya think? Technically speaking, you can, say this in any phrase, so you can put it in the middle of words or whatever. Alright. But yeah. Friends old and new, I bid you welcome to Slitherbow. What does it, Alan Tuta, what does it mean? In the language of the Ronka is one of several ways to say good evening. This greeting allows us to quickly discern friend from foe. A simple expression, but a word bereft of night. But in a world bereft of night, the word holds whole deep meaning. Ah, yeah. They're a reminder of the way the world was when the sun and moon and stars danced across the sky, and we wished to another well as the day would give to night. Communal tradition, so the words serve to bind us. Indeed, we are no longer strangers, you and I. Next, we shall have you cleanse of lights and purities. Present yourself to Davith in yonder room. He'll be glad to assist you. Yeah, they definitely still have the concept of time here, but yeah, it's a bit hard to appreciate as much when the sunlight doesn't change or anything to night or anything like that. And yeah, as you'll notice, there's a lot of Ronso here in this particular settlement, as there are a lot of Vera in the other part of the Greatwood. Though, after all, this was the Shadowbringers was the expansion that introduced these new races, so of course they want to show them off. No sooner had I greeted this Devothy poured a pot of water over me. I was not expecting a literal cleansing. It's nice to guide a new friend to the same experiences, isn't it? Ah, there you are. Your friend has just been cleansed. How do you feel? Wet, but otherwise no different. I'd have been surprised if you said otherwise. Even so, it's our customary to cleanse ourselves of light with water blessed by priests. Oh, but you have darkness again, do you not? Why continue the custom? Well, for the same reason it was conceived, to pray for the safety of friends and visitors alike, as we pray for yours this day. Safe travels, friend, and may the blessed shadow keep you. Right, if that's all, let us return to Renar and see if there's other customs I must observe. Come on, Kota. Um, I should really do some of these quests just to read up on their culture a bit. Every area pretty much has their own customs and way of dealing with things. I wouldn't be surprised if they also have some unique dialects to an extent, but since our Echo spell has a universal translator tied to it, it shouldn't have any. It has a universal translator. We don't really have any issues with such things. How does Zero like our welcome customs, I wonder? Memories of those I've met and the bonds we forged will always be a part of me. She may find those moments strange now, but one day she'll look on them fondly. Alright, I've undertaken the ritual. And while I can't explain it, I feel more confident than I did before. Just a touch. I'm glad to hear it. With the War of Darkness at your side, I've no doubt you'll save your two worlds. If we can defeat Zeromus, then the source will be safe. But nothing could change for my own world. There'd just be one less void sand to struggle over scraps with the rest. Just so. Forgive me, I spoke out of turn. It's fine, I was under no illusion. I wish it were different, of course. Oh, the Whisperweed. Kota, can you hear me? Have you met with the people of Yulmore and Rataka? Yeah, we've explained everything. Excellent, we may proceed to the next phase without worry. Beklug has informed me the tower is ready, so make for Nabatharang at your leisure. I've arranged for your rendezvous with Cassard and Root as well. Not only can he take you to the site of the flood, he'll also know the best place for the transmitters, given his familiarity with the route between the Crystarium and Amarang. He'll be entwined on business shortly, so I've asked him to wait for you there. Alright, so... it's all coming together. To Twine, then. What do you think, Runar? Zero's pessimism notwithstanding, we will still pray for her world. Take care, my friend. Tell Master Vittoria she's ever in our hearts. I think I could use my drink here, so let me do that real quick. Ah, delicious. Ah, your timing couldn't have been better, Coda. I've just finished up my business here. Lena's told me all about it. It'd be a pleasure to take you to Nabatharong. As soon as the other helpers arrive, that is. They're supposed to be along any moment now. Coda, it really is you. That's a Crystarium Guardian format. We understand you are faced with quite the predicament. An esteemed customer in need, the merchants of Mord Sok are eager to provide. The captain bade us assist you to ensure light is delivered to the Crystarium. Members of our guard will place transmitters in Lakeland, and the good people of Mord Sok will do likewise in the Hills of Amber. You need but focus on your own task in Nabatharong. Well, that'll split up the work and get it done a lot quicker. Get more people clamoring to help you. Almost be more surprising if they hadn't. Alright, if everyone's ready, let's get to work. Wait! You're heading to Nabatharang and didn't think to call on us? While most of our Talos are still in a sorry state, we've spared no effort in maintaining the trolley. We've even upgraded it, as a matter of fact. It's faster than ever and can deliver you in no time at all. After everything you've done for us, we can't just stand idly by. Thancred would never let us hear the end of it. Thank you all so much. I dare say you have ample help. Come, let's go and acquire our light. Sounds good to me. Doing this? I think from now on I'm going to start marking my Final Fantasy XIV VODs with the expansion they take place in. Not a huge deal, but it might help organize them a bit better.
So this is the flood of light. I don't remember much of the time when darkness consumed the 13th. Just the cold and the emptiness.
Zero? Are you alright?
I'm fine. You're the one who stopped this.
Oh, no, no. That was the first Oracle of Light, Minfilia. She's since left us, but I inherited her power and legacy.
Minvilia's gone through quite a character arc since the memes of her being useless during the Realm Reborn storyline. Hard to believe, but so much has happened.
I see. Let's get started then, shall we?
I don't even remember if they used the word lassie, but if you're familiar with the concept of Final Fantasy 13, that's kind of what ended up happening to her. It may have been a great cost, but she was gained the power to stop the flood of light. So now it's just a wall of absurdly pure light crystals. Still dangerous, of course, but in no way as bad as it once was.
The other transmitters are set. Whenever you're ready.
With the power of all this light, we should be more than enough to dispel Zeromus' darkness.
Such radiant light. It's almost too much for one steeped in darkness, like me.
A reflection, or...
Whatever may have happened in the past, you're still here, Zero. Alive. What you couldn't do yesterday, you might still do today.
If this power were mine to wield.
Zero, what are you doing?
Not succumb! Not to darkness! Not to light!
Zero!
Oh no. That was extraordinarily risky.
She's taken light into herself.
That wasn't part of the
Her
plan.
body struggles to contain it. She needs help.
Well, as the Oracle of Light, she still has the power. She directly said she has the power to manipulate it, so she might be able to keep it under control to some degree. Her body.
Thank goodness. How do you feel?
Better now, I think.
That was extraordinarily reckless. I approve. We were the one who,
Then you're very, very lucky. Whatever possessed you to do that?
well, we'd probably best not criticize her for it. I mean, we were the one who threw out our only escape tool to, finish the final boss there.
I had to know if I could command the light. If I could change my fate. Once, I would never have dared to dream it. But your friendship and your trust has helped me to see new possibilities. Perhaps that's why, when I beheld this world once damned yet saved, I saw the potential for mine to be saved as well. To become a world where light and darkness are in harmony, and life flourishes. A world where we're not consumed by insatiable hunger, but filled with hope for what we might create together. If I had the strength, perhaps I could make such a dream reality. Perhaps I could awaken us from this endless nightmare. That's what possessed me.
Her hat.
If that's your heartfelt desire, then you mustn't be afraid to share it. There was a time when I lacked the courage. To voice my desires was to burden those I love, or so I convinced myself.
Just forgot to remove time. Embarrassing.
But then I met those who believed in me. They helped me to believe in myself, and find the strength to live. And so long as I'm alive, I know that I'll be fine. No matter how dire things seem, no matter where I am. To be able to think that brought me peace. And it's a blessing I owe entirely to my friends.
Those who believe in us. I will remember your words. I know all too well that there's a limit to what we can achieve alone.
As a friend, I'd like to help you fulfill your dream. If you wish to take in more light, I can keep the power in check and help your body accept it.
Hey, it worked well enough for me.
Ah, yes. You mentioned having to absorb light. That you still live is proof of her ability. Right then. I'm counting on you.
I figured a more practical example would be useful. Zero struck me as the practical-minded sort, so using myself as proof that can work would probably be ideal to help.
Here I go. I can feel it. The light's warmth welling within me.
Then I believe it worked.
With this power, I will return to the void and fight for the world that once was, and for those I hold dear.
I've only known Zero a short while. It feels though a struggle is my own. For her sake and her world, we must succeed. We've done our part. I trust the others will see the light to our destination. It's time we return to the source. I shall seek out Beklug and have them return my soul to the spirit vessel. Back to action. You spy a tinge of sadness in Reen's eyes. I suppose this is it. I don't know if you had any other preparations to attend to in the visit, but I'll go ahead to the ocular. Do 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 do. Warm, warm. I guess I can talk about it a little early. There was a lot of speculation that maybe Zero might class change one of the new jobs, or maybe Kryl. It's hard to say, though. Usually those jobs are hinted at in the .3 patch story, rather than the .5 one at the end, but... what's this sword again? Oil of... Okay, that's the Titan one. Yeah, they used to make all level 1 to max level 1s for each job, but they had to stop after a certain point. But I guess it does make sense. I mean, it's impossible to have a Red Mage, for example... Actually, I think Red Mage might still have it, but... Well, it's impossible to have a Dancer below level 60. They start there, after all. Likewise, my Reaper here, impossible to have beneath level 70. So, to an extent, it makes sense to only have those available. After all, I only have to worry about 70 up. This does, of course, mean there's a bit more limited skins available, but that gets changed through sheer time, if we're honest here. Welcome, Lord. If we should go to the ocular, I can escort you. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm not exactly a fan of the Edgelord Reaper stuff, but the Scythe of the Round is nice, and I believe in the next expansion we'll start getting some crafted versions of the trial boss fights, the trial weapons for this expansion, so that'll be neat to see. Before we said our farewell, Zero thanked me, stating that she learned much during her time in Overon. While I don't believe I'm owed such a gratitude, I'm nonetheless glad she found the experience worthwhile. It seems Zero is already back in the vessel. I would have liked to have talked to her more, but that'll have to wait till next time, and there will be a next time, I'm sure of it. The tower stands ready to send light to the rift, and Zero's soul is secure in her vessel once more. Our helpers across the realm have also sent word the transmitters are in place. Once the others have been sent to the moon of Zero's world, we should have a foundation for our ethereal current. To make matters easier, the transmitters broadcast a powerful signal that can be detected by the pet tower even across the rift. Upon confirming the void ones are active, we shall send forth the light. The rest will be up to you. We'll be praying for your success. Now go, make haste back to the source and save your worlds. Many people will us on, and we will succeed. Worry not, I can manage the tower well enough, return to the source, and finish it. The Exarch's spirit abides in the tower. It'll surely deliver us the light to where it needs. Excellent. I guess it makes sense Endwalker's story would make sure to have us go through all the previous areas, because during the main story, we only briefly visited the first for to check out a couple things and also confirm if the final days was hitting there yet or not. But now we went through a proper meeting most of the characters who were relevant during that story. I'll admit part of me was kind of hoping that Dawn Trail Onward would have an entirely new cast, entirely new stuff, but I guess it's not a bad idea to keep some characters, but I imagine they also wanted to keep them for marketing purposes. I mean, it's pretty obvious who the fan favorites are, and I imagine it's no coincidence they return fairly regularly. Welcome back, Coda. I assume preparations are the first to complete? That as well, for time grows short. Coda, thank heavens you've returned. The reports report the brand's on the verge of failing. We have no time to spare. I shall restore Zero to her body at once. Can't forget this time. Ah, that's better. I was worried the soul transference process might affect the light I absorb, but it feels just as potent as before. Alright, we know what we need to do. The radiance of your soul is impossibly blinding. I don't know how you would have managed without Reen's help. While Reen helped me contain the light, it was you and all of you who gave me the courage to even make the attempt. Your friendship and your acceptance. That includes the people of the First. The Knights Blessed in particular showed me a great kindness, as did Runar, whose only regret seemed to be that you could not join us. A regret we both share. Ours is a reunion long overdue. If all is in readiness, I will assume my dragon form and fly to the moon. In the meantime, I pray make your own way to the Drowning Brand. There we shall reconvene before sallying forth once more into the void. Actually, Best Ways Burrow is a favorite location, so it might be a bit cheaper for me to go that way. I don't actually need to go there as much as I used to, though, now that I completed the Laporet quest line here. I probably should save my final thoughts till over, but I will say I'm still currently a bit on the fence as to whether having the exact characters from Final Fantasy IV show up, even if the context is different. This is far from the first Final Fantasy game where that's the case. I mean, I did Final Fantasy IX on stream a while ago, sadly before I was saving my VODs, but nonetheless, it did quite a few references, including a number of characters from previous Final Fantasy games at the time, which is kind of funny because even this game's now doing some references to Final Fantasy IX. Even Stranger of Paradise had a reference to Final Fantasy IX in it. So, funny, it was meant to be a throwback, but now it itself is now getting nostalgic throwbacks. Drowning, numbing, crushing, searing, striking, biting. Interesting names for these brands. Mapping Way, Living Way, Ural and J. Darkness groweth stronger with each passing moment. Doubt not, Zeromus will soon attain full strength. The hour is upon us, everyone is ready, and so am I. Oh, thank goodness you're back. The seal will break at any moment, Code. At any moment. Tis a terrible darkness indeed. That should so test the restraints once. Tis a terrible darkness indeed. Should so test the restraints in which one child Zodiark. With light the first and confidence we'll prevail. Seems familiar name. Or rather, someone else. Alright, I forgot to speak with Zero. Golbez will be ready for our return. We must likewise be ready for him. Time to take the fight to the enemy, is it? The darkness has been utterly relentless, gnawing at the seal like I might an iron carrot. Strike fast and hard, because you will not get another chance. As precaution, we further enhance the combat supporters. You don't need to worry about us while you're away. I shall maintain my vigil over the brands. Pray that thou art ready to depart as soon as Vitra and the others have assembled. May the light shine our way to victory and deliver you all safely home. Ah, Vitra has arrived. That means it is time. I wish Dole had just said it's crazy that that thing has been damaging the brands meant to hold Zodiark. But I guess it's not just a fragment of Zodiark, it's also the full power of a dragon within it. Both dragon eyes, and that is a huge boost of energy. It's too quiet. Surely they know we're here. In order to unleash the most concentrated burst of light possible, we'll need to route the energy of multiple transmitters before directing it to converge on a single point. I will survey the area for suitable locations. The dark pall over the crater's grown thicker. On the other side lies Golbez's domain. He devolved the terrain to hinder us. I don't sense his presence, but I wager it's in the crater. Which would be ideal if it were. I shall hurry to place transmitters. Once they're activated, the cross-rift ethereal current will be established and light will flow freely from the first, in theory at least. Well, before I do, let's talk to Vitra here. This time, sister, this time I shall save you. It will work. It must. Do, 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 do.
All is in readiness. Without further ado then. Light from beyond the rift, shine forth and banish the darkness.
Here we go.
Excellent. The tower is replete with light from the Bath Areng. Commencing transmission.
Well, good to know this light is finally going to be put to a productive use. There it is. It's going from the 1st to the 13th.
It works. It works! Light is flowing into the void!
Infinite light, meet the infinite
May this
darkness.
light illuminate your way.
You can do it, Zero. I believe in you.
Here we go. Mhm. The darkness has been pierced.
Look, an opening.
It worked. Let us waste no time and sally forth. Alas, I fear the breach may be too narrow for you, Vritra.
For a blessing, I prepared my simulacrum for such an eventuality.
I brought his human body, his human avatar to work.
My true form shall stand guard here while we explore the chasm. 'Tis faint, but I sense the presence of a dragon. No doubt my sister's essence trapped within Zeromus. Not where she was held captive before, but somewhere much deeper.
The descent will not be so easy this time. The chasm swarms with void scent.
Summoned by Golbez, perhaps, or born of the residual darkness.
However they came to be, we shall cut a path through them. Is everyone ready? Zero?
Oh yes, light. First time that light has been in this world of pure
That
darkness.
light should shine in the void once more.
No single one of us could have made it so. Only by joining hands were we able to kindle this light.
Do you see, Golbez? We needn't damn others to save ourselves. You knew this once, surely, when you tried to befriend me. When you were one of the precious few left willing to trust in another. But that man is gone. And in his place, a mockery of his beliefs.
She's remembering before the flood of darkness.
It's the same as before. Though we walk different paths, we seek the same destination. There is something I must know. A truth that lies waiting in the dark.
Though I am the plan's work, we are in no position to celebrate. The day's not won yet. She's no longer the cold, distant soul we met in the void, or perhaps until now she just never had a chance to be who she truly was. This radiance is just the beginning. I must see it cast to the deepest depths of the moon. My dragon form shall remain here to secure our escape route. The void sent who dared approach the gate will reckon with me. Down in the dark. He's the very picture of determination. Uh, Rest assured, I'll not let my emotions overwhelm me. When the moment comes, I will call to my sister and wrest her free from Zeromus. The crater awaits. Woe betide any who bar our path. So are we doing the trial right away or a dungeon? Guess I'll find out shortly. The lunar subterranean now accessible. So let's find out. Yeah, it's a trust party. Lingering light illuminates the way to our foe. It will not escape us. We have no time to waste. The void senate we felled will return ere long. Take heart and protect them well. I will live up to my own words. This I swear. We must find Golbez. Let me speak with him, please. There's something I must know. I'm gonna bring a trust party here. Let's bring a Stinian.
Right then.
Let's bring a Stinian since I'm being a Reaper for this. I could try and be a tank for it, but I haven't upgraded my tank's gear particularly much. Sorceress. Oh, she can be a tank too? No, she can only be a healer. Yeah, she can only be a healer and DPS. Just give us the trick there. Let's bring a Stinian there. Yeah, I remember I was debating a long time whether I wanted to do these with trusts or just do a duty with players. Now for the trial, I do have to do that with players, but here I can do it with the NPCs here. It's probably not a bad idea, just so I have the ability to, first of all, read any papers or stuff on the ground for lore without getting in the way of other players, and also, yeah, I was worried about maybe I should expedite it, because player parties are always faster. Like I think I mentioned, but a party of trusts, those are specifically designed to, only handle one group at a time. If you try and pull more, the tank will melt, or if you're the tank themselves, the healer won't be able to keep up, nor will the healer and DPS can't keep up because they single target. I like my, falling animation there.
Away with you!
Alright, what was my thought before? Oh yeah, man, it is so satisfying to cleave through all these enemies as Reaper. The AoE rotations is so much fun. Oh yeah, I was talking about why I'm a bit split on the fact they're using the actual Final Fantasy IV characters. Like I said, I know this isn't the first game to do this, but I don't know. During Shadowbringers, they had a lot of references to Final Fantasy VIII, but they didn't have the actual characters show up. Like, while the villain did have similar motives, they were not actually the Ultimacia, Artemisia, however you pronounce it. Oh man, I just loves cleaving through all these enemies. I hope the next set of jobs, the Dawn Seeker jobs, are going to be this satisfying too. Yeah, I forgot to reapply the Death's Dane to those things. I forgot that.
Out of my way!
Ooh, neat effect. Let's move on before they have time to regroup. This place is not as long as I remember it. He's Altar's domain then. Let's keep moving on.
I will end this farce!
Oh yeah, it's so satisfying to see all those enemies cleaved at once. Yeah, let's just activate the super mode again here. Farming dungeons is just so satisfying with the Reaper setup. That's probably why I've stuck with it so much. I didn't really do any raiding this expansion, but I've heard they're pretty good. I actually think this is the first Final Fantasy game in which we've had Athena, which is pretty neat. I would have thought she'd have shown up sooner, but I will say she certainly left an impression given how many people remember her. I guess they have had a nice mix of complex villains and straightforward evil ones like her. Yeah. And yeah, I'm unsure if I would have preferred an original story just based off Final Fantasy IV or having these actual cameos here. Hard to say, really. I guess I'll have to wait until after to give my final thoughts on that, but I guess it's still fair. It's not unreasonable for me to give some impressions at this point. See. And I believe the music here is loosely based on the Final Fantasy IV music there. Stare. First mid-boss, Dark Elf. This guy disables all metal, which is a bit of a problem because I've got a lot of it. Is this all Golbez can muster to bear our path? Who dares trespass in Lord Golbez's domain? To me, O beacons of the dark. Oh, interesting. Assuming I want to be on this one then. Alright, so he's showing off what these are. I should be fine standing on top of. No, I won't. Sorceress Shroud.
This will hurt.
I will end this farce.
You underestimate me.
I best wait till he finishes his mechanic. I'm gonna drop the limit break. We have no AoE on our team, so no point saving it.
Away with you!
Oh. Well, someone's using it. Oops. I completely misread that mechanic. Well, as long as someone used it, which means crap. Well, Estinian's officially better than most Party Finder parties. Vanishing Scepters were quite a nuisance. Vanish, you say? I thought they were merely bluffing. I completely buggered at the end there, but I think I can probably blame that more on my, the Darkened Vestibule. A Vestibule of Darkness. What am I doing? No one's going to get the, You find a discarded Mora Crystal, and it sometimes begins to glow. Your psyche resonates with the Mora Crystal. Durante.
Hurry, Golbez. The city is already overrun.
I see. We're in his shoes now. Dang, they had Stormwind Castle here.
First the villages and now the capital. Nothing is exempt from their avarice.
Where's the village? They were too late to save their... I need to get a temporary party member here. They're too late to save their home then. I don't want to use up my super mode with only like 2 enemies left alive, so let's do it this way. The goblins look exactly as they did in Final Fantasy IV. Memorial of Darkness. Go forth, my pets, and feast on their flesh. You need some better pets, buddy. These aren't, these are nothing. Oh yeah. So satisfying to cleave through all these guys.
Out of my way.
Bested by Golbez and Durante both. Seems I underestimated you.
They knew we were elsewhere. Cowards.
Our saviors have returned. They went after the civilians while their best fighters were out. Oh, I can't target that Marlboro. That Marlboro, however you pronounce it. Accidentally hit the heal, but that's fine. A little less for Stola to worry about means she can attack a bit more.
I will end this farce.
I can't hold back against the trash mobs here because they're not going to die fast enough if I don't. I have an incredible AoE, but the CPUs won't. Oops, I forgot to grab these guys.
Will not fall here.
There we are. The castle.
This one is dangerous. Have care, Golbez.
What's this one? Dalmatian Antlion. Huh. If I remember the lore of Final Fantasy IV, those are actually docile. In fact, even when you return to them in the after years, so this is an Antlion of the 13th. Let me grab a sip of my drink real quick before I jump in. In Final Fantasy IV, you only fight the Antlion because because the situation was agitating it. When you go back in the after years, you're able to take what you needed from there and it doesn't fight you at all. Because, as was noted, it is normally completely docile. Oopsie.
Out of my way.
Oops, missed an attack there. Oh my, it's doing the same thing not Cognazo, Cognolio!
I will end this farce. I will end this farce.
Did I just dodge a bullet? Completely by accident? You know what they say, first time every time, right? Huh. Take that. There are definitely perks to having a gap closer. I like to use my shield fairly often because A, it helps me and the party a little, and B, I could be smart, but apparently it didn't feel like it. Oops. Yeah, I was a bit too eager there because somehow I completely forgot about the pillars. I seem to mostly be doing fine, I just kind of bugger it up at the end of each respective fight. Well, this is just an EX dungeon, so I don't need to worry too much about it. Oh wow, I have to go through this. If I die, ooh, that's very annoying. Well, no, this is no different from zoning after. I may not like the last boss of a dungeon theme as good as the Shadowbringers one here, but I will say the mid-boss theme here is I like a lot better than the one Shadowbringers. Well, Shadowbringers technically had two, but yeah. Although granted, the Shadowbringers last dungeon boss theme was so popular it got a Dissidia remix surprisingly quickly. I'm not sure if they planned it or they just decided to after it went over well with the fans. Still, I do appreciate the effort they put in to make a new boss theme every expansion. Well, and even in this one, they've had a handful of different ones for the Final Fantasy IV ones, like the Octo Mammoth. That was it. Here we are. You don't want to use it this early, so... Haha. Take that, you big bug. Well, technically it's an arachnid, I think. Oh, I see. It's marking which ones are about to fall. Hello, fellow casters. Ow. That hurt like hell. I also have a sprint to get out of that. I don't just have my gap closer.
All or nothing!
Estinian got interrupted, so I'll take care of that. I'll just stand on top of Estinian, or not. Wow, I was in exactly the right spot to not. How frustrating. Oh, crap. Ow. I see, after they fall once, they won't fall again, which makes sense when I say it out loud, but shut up. Luckily, I do have some options for self-sustain beyond just my shield. Although, don't get me wrong, I do love the Reaper shield. Honestly, I think that's one of the things I really do like about Reaper. It has a lot more party support than you might think. There we go. Gotta trust in my allies. Just what Zero said. Pound sand. Wow, 3 vulnerabilities. No wonder I'm taking a lot of damage from everything. Reapers have the same armor as, crap. Gonna need this. Yeah, that could have killed me if I wasn't careful. Here we are. Reapers use the same armor Dragoons do, which has a bit better physical defense at the cost of a bit lower or magic
They
defense.
command such terrible beasts bodes ill. We've no time to lose. Such destruction. If only we had returned sooner.
Such devastation. I'm sure that was not their intention. Oh crap, I forgot my super mode is still active. Oh well. What am I doing? I need to do this. See, wrong button. Well, no matter. Well, since I missed my chance before, let me do it right this time. I guess a nice perk of doing this with NPC trusts instead of players is players would carry me, whereas here I'm forced to actually learn the mechanic, such as the exclamation point thing marking the pillars that are about to fall. It's not a big deal because it's just an EX fight, and those are, honestly, it's more about how fast you can farm than how tough it can be, but...
I think not.
Morium.
I think not.
I guess if there's just 2 enemies, I'm better single targeting. Except, of course, attack that's stronger for both AoE and single target. Here we are.
I dare say we'll be faster if we split up.
Just find a way across. Original gargoyle, the original dark grenade. Let's get out of here. Yeah. A player tank will usually stun that effect so that the DPS and healers don't have to worry about it, but the NPC ones want you to pay attention to the mechanics of each individual enemy.
No mercy.
Oh, have I been missing this one? I'm sorry, little guy. You deserve to be sliced up as much as the others.
I will end this farce.
There we are. They didn't self-destruct, so that's good. Feel the true power of Memoria. So this is how the demonic creatures look. Power of Memoria turned them into that. I thought we were about to run to the boss in moments, so I was saving my super mode, but I see that's no longer an issue, so...
Out of my way. I will end this farce.
Reaping.
I will not fall back.
Original black. We know that the Ascians are responsible for this. However, the reason the 13th did not rejoin the Source because they didn't realize that causing an elemental disaster to destroy a world without doing a similar one on the Source is what caused them to merge. So doing a Darkness Flood here without a Darkness Flood on the Source meant the 13th never rejoined like it was intended, and it was virtually considered useless. Even to the Ascians' plan. That's right, the Memoriat sealed Golbez within a crystal, not his buddy like we originally thought. That was the big reveal we got last time. Or... oh, it's even worse. No wonder he's fallen into despair. He's being forced to fight.
This can't be happening. Not to you. My friend, my hero. I will stop you even should it cost me my life.
Memoria Durante. Yeah, this is the form of irreversible transformation that was similar to primal tempering, wasn't it? Mapping the realm, the lunar subterranean.
So be it. I will fight you with all my strength.
Old magic.
Fortify my blade.
Okay, that was a little annoying.
I need power. Light or dark, it matters not.
I will end this far.
Oh, that was really close. I could have really been in trouble there.
Such savagery ill.
Crap, accidentally used the last attack instead of the finisher. Mildly annoying, but it's not a huge deal.
You've weathered this before. Let's see how you fare now.
Ah, we go in the middle this time. Interesting mechanic. Very interesting mechanic. Oopsie. Oopsie. Here's safe. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. The vulnerability's gone.
Even so, I'll not be rested. Not this day.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident I don't want to touch whatever the purpley stuff is, so I'm not going to touch the purpley stuff. Ooh, interesting. Twilight phase. Oh, ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow, ow.
I am of the first brood.
Okay, I did get the mechanic. Guess the mechanic right that time. Good.
I will not hold back.
You've weathered this before. Let's see how you fare now.
Out of my way.
Time to end this.
Go ahead, Justinian, you got it. Duplicitous battery.
Out of my way.
I'll not be
I will
rested.
end this far.
Not this day.
Oops. Oh no, he made it. Wow.
No mercy.
Prepare yourself.
Twilight phase.
It's over, my friend.
I am of the first brood.
Dark Impact. There we are. Direct crit. And we got him. It was only after Endwalker that our character started doing some more cheering emotes upon completion instead of the somber look, but this is definitely one that calls for the somber. Was there truly no other way? He all but set his soul aflame. Should not have come to this. Not sure how useful any of the items I got are, but I can sort them out later. A bitter victory.
Why? Why you and not me? You were the best of us. A paragon of virtue. I could never hope to be your equal. I am only the knight I am because of you. Because you believed in me. You would not wish to become a monster, preying upon those who fought to protect. But neither can I bring myself to kill you.
I see what he's about to do. I'd wager I know what he's about to do, rather.
So rest easy, my friend, and entrust your legacy to me.
So he himself was a memoriam, and that means he has the ability to seal people into crystals. So that's explains everything. The two were former memoriats, that's why they went, but they turned against their group. Because they were, well, blatantly evil. And here we get to that scene of him holding the helmet with the
You
memoriam
will
stone next to
never
them.
die. This I swear. Through me, your name shall live on as the hero who saves the world.
see. It's all come together now.
We've been released from the memory, 'twould seem.
If Golbez was the one sealed in this memoria, then the one we've been fighting is...
Bronte having taken his title.
No more than an imposter playing at hero.
Durante, I presume.
A name long since lost to time. History shall remember only Golbez.
Definitely a unique take on Golbez.
I shall deliver the world its salvation, and I will not suffer you to interfere.
Right, Zero wanted to come here for a reason.
You seek to free all souls from the purgatory of undeath. And to that end, you would invade another world. While I cannot condone your methods, I understand your motive full well. For I'm driven by the same. I too wish to save our world. I too once thought I had to bear the burden by myself. That I had no choice but to walk my path alone. But I was wrong. We may yet strive together towards our shared goal. If you would reconsider your course.
I imagine he's not too eager
If
with
you
how close he
possessed
is.
power which transcended that of Zeromus, then perhaps I would. But you do not. No, you are but another Voidsent like me. And what is a candle before the sun?
Perhaps we aren't all-powerful, and cannot effect great change in an instant. Even so...
Great change is what we need. Aught less has no meaning. Having glimpsed our past, you should understand as well as any. As Golbez, I dedicated myself to ending the Contra Memoria. I fought the corrupted Memoriates and attempted to redeem those twisted by their power. Yet try as I might, I was powerless to make any meaningful change. 'Twas then, when I was floundering in despair, that she appeared. The Ascian Igeom. Claiming to know how to excise the source of our woes, she showed me to the moon, where the servant of light abided. 'Twas he and his ilk who had granted men unnatural powers, she said, and now prolonged the war. Believing her every word, I struck him down and caused darkness to engulf the world.
What? Then it was you who...
As Emmett Selk once told us, the 13th was the Ascians' first attempt at a rejoining, before they fully understood the mechanisms at play. They failed because they sought only to awaken the sundered Zodiac without instigating a calamity in the source. The darkness they unleashed had nowhere else to go.
Having left a ruin of our world, the Ascian fled. I was a fool to trust them, to trust in others. Since that day, I have sought the means to undo my mistake. The world may be beyond saving, but I would at least restore the Great Flow. The dragon was an extraordinary windfall, a veritable font of ether that expedited my endeavors time and again. But it wasn't enough to achieve my objective. Far from it. For an eternity, I had to bide my time. But the day finally came when I acquired the power I sought. The remnants of the Ascians' god sealed within the moon suddenly dispersed into ether.
Oh dear, that means that...
With that ether, Zeromus could be conceived, and driven by the dragon's longing for home, it shall soon arise to destroy the barrier between worlds. Thus will the way open to the promised land, and the death we have been too long denied. Thus will I, Golbez, bring salvation to all.
So that is all you have left.
Say what you will. You cannot stop Zeromus' awakening.
We're going after him, aren't we?
Aye. That's why we came, after all. And besides... when someone believes in you, it makes you want to believe in them. In others and yourself. Euless was right about that.
He speaks of salvation, of fulfilling an honor friend's legacy, yet does not scruple to discard others for his ambitions. Yeah, he keeps saying this big thing is to save everyone, but he had no hesitation sacrificing his own people. Well, two of it... two of his... Cognolio and Rubicante, he knew very well were highly likely to die in their missions. Barbarisha, he probably expected her to win, and so her loss was actually... Same with Scarmiglione. They were confused. They were outright shocked that he was incapable of coming back after dying, since, you know, this is the world of darkness. They have no rest. To yearn to save the world, only bring about its unmaking. 'Tis a tragic tale, yet it changes nothing. We rarely believe ourselves the villain, but if our ends demand unconscionable sacrifice, what else can we be? Let us press on. The darkest recesses of the moon await Golbez and Zeromus. They are resolved to save their world and condemn yours. Are you prepared to brave the dark? Looks like we have ourselves. I'm gonna guess this is an instanced set of fights.
I had hoped to bear witness to the moment our salvation is realized. But nothing must be left to chance. I will stop you here, no matter the cost.
Whoa, she just slide a bit more than expected.
Wounded as I am, I knew that I would be hard-pressed to fight you on equal terms. And so I lured you to this place, where the advantage is mine.
I don't know, maybe you'll need a couple more Golbezes. Maybe then it'll give you a slight advantage. Wait, what? I suppose it's possible for him to undo the Moria, but how could he bring back the ones who died at the source? Their ether's gone.
The Archfiends live?
Impossible. Scarmelione and Barbariccia were sealed in Memoria, while Cagnazzo and Rubicante died in the source.
That's so...
You're not wrong. They are not the true Archfiends, but shades born of their residual ether.
Looks like we have a
If
rematch
they are
to do.
shades, then their strength will pale in comparison. Even should they fight as one, we may yet prevail.
The pit for Zeromus is living in.
We'll tend to the Archfiends. Go and put an end to Zeromus.
You'll do no such thing.
Now, their powered-up forms are unique to 14 here. Barbariccia doesn't have that her hair turning into armor.
As soon as we can.
Like, she doesn't have her ability to turn hair into armor like she is in this game. And Rubicante doesn't have his wings in 4. He only has them in this game. So they are I will admit they're doing some pretty neat stuff with them, so it's not entirely just a copy and paste. And the 4 fiends are pretty much a recurring thing that happens in the series, so perhaps I'm being a bit harsh by being mixed opinions on having them show up exactly. Plus, this Golbez is very different from the one.
It is too late. Zeromus will awaken, and it shall devour any who come between it and its desire. Your companion is no exception.
Perhaps under normal circumstances, but don't forget, the Light Warden's power is still ours.
I wouldn't be so sure. Time and again, he has faced insurmountable odds.
Even to Estinian to do it in the most dramatic way possible.
But no matter how hopeless things seemed, he's never given up the fight.
long as he has strength of will to forge on, then so too shall we.
For we believe in him, and he believes in us. And together, our light can pierce blackest darkness.
Doing squats there? We can leave that fight to them. Those three can handle themselves. Now, it's my turn. What is this darkness? Cold and all-consuming. Where am I? I guess this is also isn't the first time. Like, Zeromus also does show up in Final Fantasy XII, for example. I must return to my world, my home, where my kin wait. Just a bunch of smoke. The darkness is so thick. Yes, I must return, and none shall stand in my way. This isn't just Zeromus, this is the remnants of Zodiark. Only by winning here can we truly put this at ease. Stone of Azem. It is time. I can't let you destroy the barrier between worlds. Be gone from my sight. Ooh, I was waiting for so long to hear this remix. Zeromus' theme is one of my favorite final boss themes in Final Fantasy, so I was hoping we'd get a really good remix for this. The Abyssal Fracture. Trials Endwalker, the Abyssal Fracture. It was only when the Ascian's god was brought low, its remnants dispersed into ether, that Golbez could piece together his plan, and the Red Moon's answer the Cradle of Darkness to use that ether to birth the dread voice sent Zeromus, which, driven by his dy's longing to return home, is now poised to break the barrier, and so the Warrior of Light stands fast against darkness, a flickering beacon of hope. Should they fail, the 13th deliverance will prove the source's destruction. Oh my. Already? DPS queues aren't that good, wow. Man, this is a really good remix already. Down in the dark. Reaper powers are not my scythe, still as brimming with light. Did that last DPS fall asleep? Oh no, they're not, they're here. The Abyssal Fracture. Actually, speaking of Final Fantasy 12, I did find... this has been known for a while, but it's probably worth mentioning here. All of their glyphs on their face and their names all reference to members of the Convocation in Insatiable Vessel, Zeromus. Oh, good. People in chat are confirming there's an orc roll for it. Okay, the Reaper used his first. Ow. Yeah, sadly the Reaper buffs don't stack with an additional Reaper, so I'm gonna have to alternate mine with theirs. Flesh shall melt and seethe and mold. Ah, the dark, it riseth. I have no idea where I want to go here. Here. Okay, I don't know how I survived that, but I did. I should probably get out of their way. Oh right, it's chasing them. I'll let them worry about that. I probably shouldn't be using the. I don't need to apply Death Stain that often. All as one in the darkness. For the record, I did not look at any videos or anything. I'm just basically playing it by ear. Big bang. What's that? Big bang, invigorated by exponential expansion of darkness. My memory stars shine, attending the... Alright, get away, get away, get away. Okay, I should be safe if it's turned to a line like that. That's usually what that means anyway. Bright as stars in the night. Blunt resistance down. Alright, be wary. He might be wary of anything blunt, then. Dark matter. Black hole. Yeah, I mentioned how much I love having a gap closer. Uh-oh. I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. Provoke, oh no. Oh. Yeah, I kind of misread what's happening there. Oh well. You know, if your character is from Legacy, which the 1.0, which sadly mine is not, your character actually does get a tattoo, and some have speculated it looks kind of like the Zeromus marker from Final Fantasy XII. I can't confirm or deny because I've never actually seen it for myself, but I guess it was a hint that the player character is indeed a former member, the Zem. Abyssal Nox. Dang, Zeromus is really pissed right now. Flare. Crap, it's gonna follow me. Alright, so run around the edge, keep it from, Alright, yeah, just run along the edge, that way it'll stay away from the party to the best of my ability. There was a mechanic like that in an earlier fight, so I do vaguely remember it. I just asked if we should save it. Everyone agrees save, which I can respect. I mean, it's the first week. Just wanted to be safe. Toxic bubble. At the end of the day, it never hurts to ask if we should use the Sylvie or save it. Huh, I thought Abyssal Nox would have been one of those, but no, it's a party-wide. I thought it was he goes to the edge that he's aiming for. Definitely want to be, yeah. Her will, my will not be denied. By the power all shall know salvation. Barrier between worlds weakens. Oh, he's using Big Bang, he's using Big Bang. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Nostalgia. Return to me, my beloved star. Flow of the Abyss. A little painful. Akira. Cosmic Nails. Dang it! I was so close to avoiding that. The end. Alright. They announced that I should drop the LB, so time for the Reaper limit break. Yes, we did it! That was actually pretty fun. Well, what am I saying? They're usually fun, but this one was really neat to do without looking up a guide or anything. And there it is. Zeromus almost succeeded, but we did it. Do-do-do-do. Whatever. Right, as this is the 13th. I shall not perish so long as they await my return. I shall endure. Not a problem. I can keep, well, I guess since this is the 13th, even if I die, I'll just keep coming back too. How interesting. We're stuck in a fight to the ages until the end. Ah.
Are you alright?
Stinian buddy, I knew I could rely on you. And everyone else made it too. That's gonna use Big Bang again, that's no good. Golbez? Did he?
Like all Void Sent, Zeromus cannot be killed.
Oh, that's because I
Sealing
accidentally left
in
it.
Memoria is the only way.
Hey, Sunsetter, welcome to the stream. And, sorry, that was from a previous stream I was doing. I forgot to take it off. We just managed to beat the Zeromus trial. So I have no idea what's happening. We're getting a flashback. Oh, Richard, I don't hide it or anything. I just usually try to keep it when it's relevant, but I sometimes forget to move around the tags as necessary. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't go for it.
I failed my dear friend. Fell for the Ascian's ploy and unleashed the darkness. And after an eternity of waiting, I find myself on my knees. How disappointed must you be in me, in the foolishness and futility of it all. No, I will not let it be for naught. I will not allow you to pass. I will triumph in my crusade.
There is no triumph to be found in this madness. Even if the veil were to be unraveled, it would not undo what darkness has done to the world. Nor would it bring Golbez back. From his slumber, you know there is no return. You're weak and imperfect. You know it in your heart. In spite of this, do you truly believe that you can save everyone? Are you sure you will not fail? I'm no better. Weak and imperfect and plagued by doubt. Which is why I need friends to walk beside me.
Mired by a plague of doubt. Not an uncommon feeling. She has her dark... That's right, she has the light now alongside her darkness. Something no other Void Scent has ever been able to do.
Light? But how?
This is proof that I believe in others, and they in turn believe in me. A light that illuminates the way in darkest despair. Be it in a ruined city locked in ice, or a world drowning in light. It was with faith in one another that life endured. I see it clearly now.
You think we are capable of the same?
I don't see why not. You can always have a sense of community. Proper community.
It won't be easy. Having lived too long as Void Scent, we've forgotten how to trust. But one thing is certain. If Zeromus succeeds and everyone dies, we'll never have the chance to try. You asked me to join hands with you once, and I refused. I cannot take back that mistake. But I can extend to you the same offer. We can be better than we have been.
The Zeromus fight was really fun. Definitely have to give the EX a try at some point. Stumbling over my words a bit. Whoops. That happens. Even he is seeing the light now. And he's remembering her now as well.
Of course. You were the Memoriat we met all those years ago. Yes, I remember now. We hoped you would join us in our quest to end the Contra Memoria. But you rejected us outright. It left both of us discouraged. Golbez most of all. If we could but overcome the fear that has shaped and divided us, we could change everything. Even in the midst of that terrible war, he never stopped believing in others. Not even at the end.
You're Golbez now. If you would live up to his name, then you must trust in people as he did.
I cannot forgive what you have done to my sister, but she may yet be saved.
Right, we still have to do what we came here to do at the very start. After all, it's not going to be easy, but we still have one thing to do.
You can help us see her safely home and protect the source. Then...
As Zero's friends, we should gladly share what knowledge we have to help you restore the Void.
We're able to save one. What's another world saved among friends?
You truly believe the world of old can be ours again?
I do. So long as we work together. we will disperse Zeromus's essence once more. The instant we do, you must call to Ashdaya.
Alright, we still have one last
Understood.
goal to do on top of stopping Zeromus. Oh no, the Reaper Scythe. It's alright, I still have mine.
Zero!
It might be over, if not for the fact she still has her light. But will it be enough is the question. I have the advantage that I have the Light Warden's light, which is a lot more than most, but...
The suffocating darkness, like that of the rift. Impenetrable, disorienting, untethered, and drifting further away.
Even the text boxes are stylized.
Strong, Zero. Don't give up.
I'm gonna have a nap here.
Hold fast to yourself. Look to the light within.
Your place isn't alone in the dark, Zero. Not anymore.
Light of the first. No time. Aim for questioning it. You can do it, Zero.
Of course.
Should I hand you my scythe?
With this power from beyond the rift, I can do it. I can save everyone.
I could reclass a Dark Knight or something while you take my scythe if you need it. Reclassed from a Reaper to a Paladin, just like Cecil.
Golbez, if you would make amends, then lend me your strength.
Now's our chance. We can't let this opportunity pass.
Ashdaya! Hear my voice and return to me!
O Urter, Unil,
Oh, Vitra, thou art...
Ko An,
I'm coming,
Ko
brother.
An,
I am coming.
Andranki.
Have care. Zeromus makes to resurrect.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
We have to get her out of there before he gets back together.
fiend!
She's able to seal the rest into a crystal.
You're safe now, Ashdaya. You're safe.
Guess I should have realized this would happen in retrospect. After all, she was clearly a gladiator or knight type character in her past life. Now the darkness within her has been quelled.
To my sister, I shall offer up the eye in this vessel. We, dragons, bring forth progeny with our very life force. That which my eye harbors should be enough to grant her corporeal form. Of course, this means I shall no longer have control over this vessel. I must ask you escort Ashdaya to the surface in my stead.
We came to bring her home, and we'll do just that. You have my word.
Thank you.
Right, the reason he was missing his eye is because he's using it to power his human avatar.
At long last, we shall be together again.
Adorable.
Where are you going?
Our world may yet be restored. I thought it an impossible dream once, but having witnessed your miracles, I cannot help but believe. Nevertheless, I am the villain who wrought this tragedy, and in my misguided crusade, I compounded my sins. My place is not at your side.
Regardless of how you may feel, by lending me your strength, you've made amends. You've earned a new beginning. It's up to you what we become to one another. What we couldn't do yesterday, we might still do today. Working together. And should we want for
They tear
strength,
up.
we need only rally more like-minded souls to our cause. So let's take the first step. The two of us.
Never again shall we be parted, sister. I've already seen Varshan safely to Vitra. Many would be heartbroken if their little brother failed to return home. That Ashdaya lives is a miracle made possible by the unique nature of the void. I ask the ether transmitters. I shall leave with zero. Transmitters I shall leave with zero. They will be of more use on the 13th than of the source. Never did I imagine the light I bore could cause such a change. As our domains are shaped by our innermost desires, perhaps this is a reflection of hope that has quickened my heart. As we've learned, Dynamis has a ridiculous of shaping power once you know how to utilize it. I get the sense that was involved in this as well as the light. You came to the 13th to rescue Asdai and protect your world. Our meeting was happenstance, our association one of mutual convenience. Yet you and yours always treated me with kindness as a friend, and through your friendship, I found a new beginning. I'm forever in your debt. Baked eggplant. Topped with sliced vegetables and a healthy coating of melted garlic cheese, these rich eggplants are roasted to tender perfection. Spicy stellar soup. Simmered with diced alien onions and carrots of happiness aplenty. Stellar soup's flavor is quite literally out of this world. Tandoori raptor, a Near Eastern staple consisting of tender chunks of raptor meat marinated in mouth-watering spicy creamy yogurt. That sounds the most delicious this set. May now enter loop subterranean. Good. It should come as no surprise that Golbez has means of travel between the moon and star, of which we may avail ourselves shortly. I've already seen Varshan. Reunited at last. He's overjoyed to be reunited with his sister. She'd been turned to a marketable plushie, but she's back.
Words cannot well express my relief that we could rescue my sister, nor my gratitude to all of you. What of him, Golbez?
He felt it would be inappropriate for him to be present at your reunion with Ashdaya, and chose to remain down in the chasm. If you wish to hear an apology, however, I should be glad to drag him here.
Nay, that shall not be necessary. By his deeds hath he demonstrated his contrition.
Beecher is surprisingly forgiving about all that, but then again, I guess he does have
So,
what he cared about most in the
what will you
world, so
do
it's a lot
now?
easier for him to feel that way.
I've learned much, journeying together with you. Experienced things I could never have experienced alone. Together with Golbez, I hope to do the same as we labor to restore the 13th.
Then I suppose it's farewell for now.
Be sure to share with Golbez what you've learned of the Source and its reflections, as well as the true nature of light and dark. He is as resourceful as he is determined, and will surely make the very most of the insights.
Indeed. Once we've gained a better understanding of the situation, I hope we can rely on your counsel.
But of course, I too shall continue probing new possibilities, the better to be of aid when the time comes. Speaking of which... From ocean rise and cloud bank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born.
Looks like she has something in mind.
Come forth, my servant.
Right, the familiar she created. She even made a new incantation to summon it.
I revised the incantation, which is not to say you know how it went before. Are we clear? Nidana provided me with spare warding scales, which apparently provide greater protection than before. This should keep the familiar safe. So long as you give the Nixie ether from time to time, it will persist and serve as a beacon for us to find you.
Already we find ourselves with a new ally. Thank you. When you have the chance, please thank everyone for me. Those in Razatan, Garlemald, Sharlayan. The first and on the moon.
Quite a few, isn't it?
A lengthy list.
Yeah, exactly. Guess it just makes for a good reminder of just how many people it took to make this possible.
A gift for Reen. In return for the light she helped me harness. It's the Memoria holding Zeromus.
Ah, with his great darkness, he'll be of help in a world.
If used to augment darkness in the first, it may help to create balance between our worlds.
An excellent idea. Similarly, why not entrust the Archfiend's Memoria to Zero?
I see no reason why not.
In that case, I shall pass them on to Golbez, to inspire and admonish him in equal measure.
See you again, right?
You will, I'm sure. Just don't try to forcibly summon me. I won't come.
I suppose after the situation with the Xenos, so she'd rather not have that. If you need a Reaper Scythe, I can go ahead and change to Red Mage or something.
Say farewell. 'Tis past time we returned home. Pray, climb upon my back.
Till we meet again. No matter where we are, or how much time passes, our bond will endure. This I believe.
I'm going to go absolutely broke buying that Orc roll for the Zeromus' battle theme. Oh my, there's a lot of people I need to speak with. We have awaited your return with bated breath, as should be apparent. Not of note occurred in your absence. I think this all began with a simple treasure hunt. Gods, I could sleep for a week. A pity there's no need to implore our combat supporters. Still, everyone is safe, and that's all that matters. Uriel and Jane the Laportes are to be commended for ensuring the seal held fast. Oh, welcome back, everyone. While you're away, a rent to the fabric of reality suddenly appeared. Through it, we could observe you lock in a furious battle with Zeromus. By the time it closed up, we'd seen your victory. Well done, by the way, but we couldn't breathe easy until we know for certain you were safe and sound. And here you are, thank the heavens. I hope Ashdaya is safe as well as Zero. In a word, yes. Though we could not return Ashdaya to her true form, Ritra granted her a new vessel using one of her eyes. Her circumstances are unique, but nevertheless gives me hope there may be a way to save the other void sent. As for Zero, she's chosen to remain in her world, do what she can to restore it. Ah, so the light of hope shines once again in the darkness. Hers is an admirable team, and I pray that she hops and skips her way to make it a reality. Perhaps our research into environments capable of supporting life would be of use to the 13th. Ooh, now there's a thought. Day may come when the people of the Source and 13th are the canon ad. In anticipation of this, we must accumulate even more useful technology. Ah, but don't let's detain you with our cavalcade of brilliant ideas. We'll see that the gate is closed and the seal deactivated, so go home and get some rest. That includes you, Yurionje. Us, as thou dost command, pray convey our gratitude to the Watcher for his timely assistance. It would seem Vitra is preparing to depart. Come, let us descend at the Tower of Babil. Upon arriving in Garlemald, would be meet to inform Euless of our mission's outcome. Let's seek him at the Terratum. As this is functionally the end of the patch storyline, it makes sense it'll be a bit longer than expected. I suppose we'll have to rename our Void Sense Slaughterbots now. A shame. The name just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Still a joy to be of aid to the people of Aethertes again. It'd be grand if we could make it possible for people to spend time in the Void without protective talismans. Ah, 'tis you. What news of your mission to the Void? The fact you've come all this way can only mean there's been developments. I'm all ears.
Oh, it's you again. Is everything all right?
Well, the good news is our mission is complete, and we managed to... quite a bit to go through. It's quite a tale.
So you were able to rescue Ashdaya. Thank the 12.
Oh yeah, I need to finish that storyline later.
Channeling light from the first was rather ingenious. It may fall short of cross-rift travel, but it's still an impressive achievement in my book.
You're too kind. Suffice it to say, though, that I don't intend to rest on these laurels. There's always more to be done.
Zero stayed in the void, did she? Well, if I had known it would come to that, I would have said a proper farewell.
Zero took your words to heart.
Really? I don't remember saying anything profound.
Sometimes it doesn't have to be.
Still, I'm glad that she got something out of her time here. As the days roll on, things will change for the both of us. But some things will remain as they are. As far as I'm concerned, Zero will always be a friend and comrade. And I will never forget her.
I'm sure she feels the same.
If she's working tirelessly to restore the 13th, it wouldn't do to be outdone here. When next Zero visits, We must see to it that you have a shiny new Garlemald to show her.
Indeed. And speaking of rebuilding, there's a matter I'd like to discuss with you and Alphino. Word has spread of our dealings with Razat-Han, and people are excited by the prospect of standing on our own 2 feet again. Naturally, it won't be straightforward. It never is. But on the whole, I have a good feeling about things.
In other words, it may be time for us to limit our involvement, that Garleans might take the lead. I can see the sense in that.
No, that's not what I meant at all. Seeing as things are going well, we want you to take a rest. A proper rest. That's what I wanted to say on everyone's behalf.
I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive, but I guess the point is made.
You've done so much for us already. Toiled beside us in the cold for far longer than anyone could ask. You've earned a reprieve 100 times over. So go on. Step away from here and head wherever you like. But if it were me, I'd choose somewhere warm.
I was thinking of taking a break anyway.
Far be it from us to go against such a heartfelt request. Though I would be lying were I to say matters here wouldn't weigh on our minds.
We could take a leaf out of Zero's book and roam about for a while. Maybe visit nations who share little history with Garlemald. Look for opportunities to foster future relations. We might learn something of recent foreign affairs that has escaped our notice.
As an independent party, we would be well suited to the task. An excellent idea, Alice.
Well, that hardly sounds like a rest at all.
To us, it is the best kind of rest. Stimulating and meaningful.
If it's settled, then let's return to Sharlayan and consider our options. What about the rest of you? Do you have any plans?
We're indebted to Lord Fortuneau and his colleagues for their cooperation. 'Twould be meet to report on the outcome of our mission.
Then it seems we are all bound for Sharlayan. Upon arriving, let us seek out Athelise at the rostra and have her notify Father.
Wait, what am I doing? Sharlayan is my return point. I don't know if that's going to change come Dawn Trail, but it actually might not. It might, because I have to be in those areas a lot more, but it might not either, because, well, Sharlayan has everything right here next to the Aetheryte, including the inn if I need to redo my glamour plates for any reason whatsoever. Oof, I'm getting pretty tired. I started pretty late, too, because of my internet troubles, but looks like we're at the end. It cannot be understated how invaluable Lord Fortuneau's cooperation is. We must thank him profusely. Father has made many demands of his time, but I hope he can spare us a moment. Having been away for so long, it might be nice to stay a while, if only to set father and mother's minds at ease. I've lost count of how many times I've come here, but apparently enough the immigration officials no longer interrogate me. Small blessings, huh? Without further ado, let us tend to business. Wait, aren't you the Scions? Or were, rather. I understand you've disbanded? An audience full of Fortuno? You're in luck. The forum has, at this moment, adjourned, and he's still inside the Skull-Ark. Please wait while I inform him of your presence. Hopefully he'll be willing to spare some time. I mean, we did finish the Pandemonium, thing. Including fighting Pandemonium itself, which I honestly wasn't expecting, but in retrospect I probably should have. I mean, the raid's always named after a fight within them so far. Apologies I've kept you. I trust you wouldn't object if Scholar Montine also attends. Oh, my incorrigible children. Were you not assisting with Garlemald's reconstruction? Our host was most insistent we take a rest, so here we are. But more importantly, Coda has news he would share with you. It turns out there was trouble brewing on the moon, but on the 13th, the Void. But don't worry, I took care of it. Well, the threat has passed. These are glad tidings indeed. Harnessing light from the first, a technological triumph that could have ended in catastrophic failure. But let's not dwell on hypotheticals. Like the ether from the Isle of Ham, you employed light for peaceful, albeit unanticipated, purposes. Knowledge exists to serve the greater good, as my father was fond of saying. I'm inclined to agree. In this one instance, it has been established that world-ending crises are the reflections are connected to calamities in the source. As such, the strides you made in understanding the nature and affecting change in a reflection may one day prove vital for mankind's preservation. The Forum will be eager to review your accounts thoroughly, for every drop of water serves to swell in the greater river of knowledge. Might we prevail upon you to prepare a comprehensive report, Stola, on the many subjects of the Void and cross-travel both? It would be my pleasure. Oh, you're gonna pay for me for it, right? We will share these findings with those who aided you, down Cole, not least of all. Now, if excuse us, we must be on our way. I should be glad to speak with you both later. I guess it wasn't just the Dragons United, it was also the twins with their family. Rostra, do you wish for a tour to enter and speak with one in charge of such things? Growing light. Read correctly, seems you stay the world yet again. Although Master Louis Swath he liveth on his teachings, 'tis gratifying to see that Master Fortuno too hath come to the knowledge of wisdom in them. I look forward to telling my father of everything's Golemon. He'll have sage counsel to offer, I'm sure. You're of course welcome at our home. Mother, for one, be thrilled to have you, but I won't twist your arm if you have other matters to attend to. If you do the crafter quest line, you actually interact with their mom a bit, and you even design an outfit for her. And yeah, she does outright state that to go ahead and give her the most embarrassing outfit you can because she wants to embarrass her. She'd find it hilarious to embarrass her husband. So that's they know what players will do. I didn't know any better. I'd say Father Dearest is warming to us. I have no interest in slipping tea with at the family estate again, though. Drink to the tavern, on the other hand. Growing light. Stola has the look of a woman satisfied in her work. With that, our obligations here are concluded. Oh, Nadana, what news from Thavnair? Oh, they returned then. Wonderful. Rest assured all's well with us as well. Is that so? We'd be honored. I shall relay this to the others. A great feast will be held at Razahan to celebrate Asdia's homecoming. We've all been invited. I'm afraid my sister and I must decline. Oh, it's Ishtola indeed, yeah. Welcome to the stream. Only just returned home. To leave again so soon be inconsiderate to our parents. Given they were estranged for a good while, probably for the best they try and repair them. After all, the seams are already starting to mend. With regret, I too must excuse myself from attendance. A prior commitment requireth I remain in Charlian for a time. Let not our absence deter you. Pray enjoy yourselves the fullest. I have no plans in particular, so you can count me in. I may as well visit the Radiant Host while I'm here. How about you, Coda? Alright, I have a delivery to make to the first. Of course, the memory crystal. It would be remiss of us to not deliver it promptly to our friends. Also, if they are to transfer light and dark between worlds, they'll need command over the crystal tower, in which case I shall give you my spirit vessel again. When you arrive at the crystarium, the sentry of the tower should be able to round up everyone for you. Once you've seen the matters here, come join us at the Megaduda. Give everyone regards, you hear? Do 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 do. Over on. While I'm doing this, while I'm teleporting around, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a sip of my drink. Feels like trial fights have actually been getting harder for a while now. Felt like the ones for Heavensward and Stormblood are pretty straightforward, especially Stormblood, where they felt like they had fairly minimal mechanics if you weren't doing the EX mode, but I do like how they've made things a little more complex even for normal mode. I mean, we are level 90, there should be some level of mastery of the certain mechanic expected. Plus, it did feel a lot more climactic. We were holding on because we weren't sure if we needed the healer limit break, but when Zeromus started taking a lot of damage, it was time for the Reaper limit break. Welcome back, sir. Mistress Reen is still in the ocular. Will you be joining her? Very good. If you would care to head inside, I shall send for Captain Lena and Becklug at once. Alright, let me turn this off.
The king has already shared what they glimpsed in the source. The day is won, and the danger past.
Wonderful.
Hearing the tidings lifted a great weight from my shoulders. Never before had I taken on such a monumental request.
Small though it was, we are glad to have played a role in saving the Exarch's home. And yours. Furthermore, the endeavor served to reaffirm the bond between the peoples of Norvrant. Nurturing this bond, we will strive to be an example for the world Zero aspires to restore.
Alright, I came here for a reason.
Is that a Memoria crystal? I can feel it. The tremendous darkness within. Using darkness from the void to restore balance to this world. If such a thing could be done!
Well, well. Though night has returned to our world, darkness cannot arise of its own accord, much less in abundance. But if it could be brought here, in like manner to how we channeled light to the void, it may well be possible to restore the empty in its entirety. Do you still have that spirit vessel with you? If so, I beg you loan it to me for a time. I would use it to investigate a way to have the tower receive rather than send energy.
By all means. I was asked to deliver that as well.
Thank you. While I make no promises at this stage, I shall rigorously explore the possibility.
I too need to explore new possibilities for my powers. My recent experience at Nabatha Reng has taught me that. To that end, I will set aside botany for a time, and focus instead on myself. Knowing Zero is out there, doing her utmost to restore her own world, it inspires me to redouble my efforts.
There you are. I waited and waited, but you never came. What have you been doing here?
Gaia!
Oh. Do I know you?
You promised to go for coffee biscuits, remember?
Ugh. I never agreed to anything of the sort. Besides, coffee biscuits are old news. I'd rather try something else.
What? I thought you liked them too! Well, no matter. The second serving has something for every taste. So let's just go.
Enough about that. What were you talking about?
Well, there was a bit of a scuffle over back at my home world, so...
Harnessing darkness from the void. Oh, there's an idea. Of course, if you're dealing with darkness, Marine alone won't cut it. Next time, call on me as well, alright?
Come to speak with Reen, have you? Well, don't keep it for too long. I was planning a trip to Ilmeg, but knowing how devious the Fae folk can be, asked her to join me. I wouldn't mind visiting Amuro someday. It's been on my mind of late. It'd be interesting to see where those two lived at the time of the Ancients, if only once. I think I mentioned it before, but I looked it up, and Gaia actually has a completely unique model. Even her outfit is directly tied to the model itself, so... it's not just a custom outfit they applied to her. They might add it to Cash Shop one day, but if so, they'll have to make it completely from scratch. If I had Gaia's help, I could definitely... I wonder if I could take the darkness the same way Zero took in the light. For so long I was loath to trust in others, fearful of my research being misused again. It may serve noble ends comes to a relief. I shall spare no effort to restore the balance between the light and dark. It was a mighty struggle, but I had faith that you would be victorious in the end, and I do not doubt the people of Novarant will cheer they learn the Warrior of Darkness managed to save his home. I know you're a busy man, so don't let us keep you. Rest assured you'll continue the work we've begun. Oh wait, what's she say now that she's not part of the quest? If the Crystal Towers be used for research, it may be prudent to bolster its security. It is the Exarch's legacy, and we must spare no effort in keeping it safe. Looks like things are just about to wrap up. Oh, right, I should probably teleport. Alrighty, let's see here. Mega Duda. Now, I believe this is technically not the final storyline before Dawn Trail. There's going to be a 0.55 patch where there will be a bit more to set up for it. Commenting official. Master Blue, you honest their presence. One but a humble servant, I offer you my heartfelt thanks for rescuing Satra's beloved sister. Without further ado, a great feast to celebrate this joyous occasion is about to begin. The venue is Myriad's... your guest of honor. Do, 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 do.
It cannot be. Oh, Vashan, my darling little brother. To think that I will never see you again.
The way you carry on, anyone would think he was actually your brother. Save your tears now. His Excellency still has one of his eyes. And he has made it clear he intends to continue using his vessel. You'll see Varshan again. Never fear.
It is a bit easier to talk with people with a human avatar than, you know, a big F-off dragon.
Truly. But will it be the little one?
Personally, I prefer the adult vessel. It cuts a gallant figure and has superior functionality besides.
I don't care about such things. My little brother is little and adorable.
Sisters, give me strength.
'Tis a fine thing being so loved.
Seems the party's wrapping up. Guess we best not disturb the ones falling asleep.
Had enough of the revelry, have you? So, what's next for our hero? No need to decide just yet. You'll recall our escapades in the void began with a treasure map I paid entirely too much gil for.
Oh yeah! It started with him getting ripped off on a treasure map. Easy to forget.
You can't force an adventure. It'll happen when it happens. And you'll know when the time is right. Till then, it's good to lend an ear to others and their tales. And speaking of others,
Discussing each other's plans, are we? Alas, I have nothing exciting to share. I foresee an extended confinement in my Sharlayan chambers, compiling my theories on cross-rift travel. My research may be classified, prohibited by the powers that be. But so long as a bond exists between people, ever shall our worlds be connected. As it stands, a means to travel to the first is within reach, and I would be satisfied even should my research not exist in an official capacity. And what of you, Estinian? Have you any plans?
He would do the Batman thing, wouldn't he? Well, he's Estinian, will always be Estinian.
He never was one to stay put for long, though I've no doubt he will make himself known when needed.
Announcing to the dragon world that Ashdaya has returned. safely. A little, not too much worse for wear, but... It was a lively feast, was it not? And impressed upon me once again how dear Vitra is to his people. Well, as much as I should like to linger, 'tis past time I took my leave. If you mean to depart as well, I suggest you call on Vitra before setting out. Before I forget, thank you. For everything we learned, for everything we accomplished, I couldn't be more grateful. Till next time, take care. Boy, I can finally talk to Ajdaya. Vitra's friend, I thank thee. She regards you with keen interest. Good, I hope you enjoyed the festivities. To be able to celebrate Ajdaya's return with everyone is moving beyond words. By the way, lest you wonder, I've chosen this vessel for now. Oh, the better to escort my sister about Razat. This leaves my true form without an eye, but I do not anticipate having need of it in the immediate future. Long have I dreamed of showing Azdaya my beautiful city, a glittering jewel born of unity, and I shall relish every moment of it. Now then, I believe both Ashtola and Vistani have embarked on their respective journeys, but have you yourself business elsewhere? If not, you're welcome to remain here as long as you like. Should aught of import arise, we'll inform you, but until such day arise, I bid you take it easy. I was wondering if there'd be a cutscene. Meanwhile, in old Charlian...
Everything appears to be in order. Oh, finished at last. So time-consuming. How nice would it be to have a mammoth to handle such tasks? Now then, let's have a look at you.
Oh! Kryl has been invited to Smash Bros.
Quite old, this letter. We'll need to store it carefully. Addressed to Grandfather, and come all the way from Tuliolal. From a Gulu... someone. Oh, the ink's too faded. Hardly anything is legible.
Unfortunate.
Come on, give me something.
Come on, we can... to let the next Final Fantasy rep get left behind.
A commission to investigate the Golden City in Tural. How odd. No one ever mentioned such a commission, nor have I seen any records.
Oh.
Something else in here.
The invite to Smash Bros. Come on. A three-leaf clover.
What an unusual earring. How does it relate to the petition, I wonder?
Usually it should be 4 leaves for luck, right?
Oh, did you go there, Grandfather? To the Golden City in Tural?
That's a really impressive statue, that's for sure. Ah, the ship's arrived.
Back again already, after making a show of leaving. Well, this is it, Charlene. Quite a far cry from Tuliolal, yes?
Interesting. They're definitely hinting at something. But
Come,
what?
let's go and find your candidate. Our adventurer friend.
Let moonlight kiss this darkened shore as seaward drifts our gaze once more. Wait, I can still speak with them. Is that, huh? My sister has strength enough to fly beyond the clouds. I would share with her the beauty of Thavnair. We will soar the skies by starlight as we did in our youth, and gaze upon its natural splendor. I do appreciate that all the characters have their plans even after the world is saved and all that. Helps it feel like there's a lot more going on. That is, it makes it feel like they have lives outside just the events of the game, you know? But I suppose for now is where I'll call the stream. Bit longer than expected, but you know, that's perfectly acceptable, I think. Alright. I am really tired, so I'm gonna have to cut it here and crash. But until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.